Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Now today's video is going to be about the FRS or the GT86, however you want to go about it, because it's going to be a little mixture of both when it's done. It's going to be mainly FRS with a GT86 front end conversion. In the last video we kind of just assessed the damage and everything, and I'm hoping that everything that we ordered is exactly what's wrong with this. Like I said in the last video, we have not ordered AC condenser or the radiator yet, or this front bash bar, crash bar, whatever you want to call it. So we did get the fender, the hood, front bumper, the grills, headlight brackets, bumper brackets, a little bit of everything that should theoretically put this car back together, because it does run and drive. And like I said in the last video, none of the airbags or anything like that were damaged, so all of that is okay. If you follow me on social media, this is a little off topic of the car, but we did find us a pit bike for the racetrack next year. So I was looking, I bought an XR70, just a little bit too small for me, so we picked up this little KLX 110, the 2020 model. Has a little FMF exhaust, a couple little goodies on it, but this thing should be a little ripper at the dry strip next year, so we can just kind of ride around and not have to walk all those miles. The R1 is still here, still kicking, and still dented and scratched from falling off the lift 2 years ago. Unfortunately, where that is a limited edition bike, limited to 200, those fairings are very hard to find, and if you do find them, they are very, very expensive. It's just money that I don't want to put toward that right now with all the other projects going on. Like you've watched the last videos, we've got to do a clutch in the C5. We have to swap the engine into the C6. And we have to get our daily GT86 back going so we can start dailying this thing. So today, we're going to start disassembling everything. I'm hoping to get all of the front end off, the fenders off, everything. Hopefully we can get that done. If not, it'll be a part 2. Alright guys, so quick time-lapse break so far. We have off this top cover. A couple of the brackets from here, the headlight brackets, which were pretty much broken. The headlights were fine though. Looks like they had some spacers and stuff to kind of make that headlight sit right. This does have, I think, some damage. I guess it impacted whenever the deer hit the front of it. Obviously, this entire thing is just mangled. So we're gonna have to pull the fenders off to get to all of this, which we're going to anyway. A big sign, I don't know what this ribbon is gonna be when we pull this big support off. That will kind of give us a look at exactly how bad all of this is. I'm still banking on them being no frame damage. We've all bought cars that have been wrecked. Well, probably not everybody. People probably make smart financial decisions. Crash bar next, and I guess we'll work on the fenders. That should free the rest of that up. I do believe that I'm gonna have to pull the radiator and everything out of this to get all of the core support done. I think that this piece, no, it welds on. So that piece welds on, and I think it welds on over here under the fenders as well. But it should give us pretty good insight of how everything is. What's concerning me is this right here. It looks a little flat, and over there does not. So I'm hoping it's just fender that got pushed down, which has pushed this out. Probably have to order this fender, and that's unfortunate because I have not ordered that fender, but it's no big deal. We'll get another fender if we have to. Another little break in the time lapse, but we did get that front T-piece on that holds the hood release. There is actually 2 bolts down there at the bottom that will actually release that thing. They are 12mm in size, so that actually separates the right from the left. The piece that we actually bought is the entire thing already put together, so everything has to come off. So we just have a couple more bolts over here. Looks like some sensors that we need to unbolt, and looks like one more bolt here, and possibly here that we need to get the fender off to get to. So I guess we'll continue on our way. I guess now would be about as good a time as any to get these fenders off. So I know I watched a couple of videos before this. You have the top fender bolts, which this one is missing one, which is a little concerning, but it looks like it broke off inside of the front core support. And I'm hoping that this whole thing bunched up here is the reason that that happened, and it's not a strut tower issue. But I wouldn't assume that it would be strut tower given how far back it is, but we'll try to find some OEM measurements and see if we can't measure some points and see exactly if these are okay. But it didn't bend these, I guess these are little strut bars, strut tower braces, whatever you want to call them. They didn't bend those, so I have high hopes. But I guess let's go ahead and get the driver's fender off. About an hour and something past that last clip that you've seen. Pinch welds at the bottom, that there's two bolts going through the bottom of the fender. Unfortunately, whoever had this car, I'm not saying it was the previous owner, at some point in his lifetime, jacked it up on the pinch welds and it bent these screws over, and it looks like they tried to take them out and it stripped it. So one of them came out, it looks fine, and then the other one I ended up having to drill through. So the bottom of the fender is off. We only have the ones behind the fender garnish here, and this fender should theoretically come out. All right guys, so both fenders are off. Unfortunately, both sides were the same way as far as the pinch welds being bent, except that side I was able to actually get a wrench on the passenger side and get both bolts out. So far, everything I think looks okay. I think this did bend, and I believe this did bend as well. So I think this fender bracket right here is the culprit of why the fender was fitting the way it was. So I am going to have to place an order to get a couple of more parts. So guys, since I have to place an order for parts, I figure this is a good place to stop episode 2. So guys, if you like the FRS build, the GT86 build, whatever you want to call it, hit that big thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Almost to 6,500. Hopefully, maybe we can get to 10K here soon. No, that's kind of a lofty goal, being at 6,400 right now. So I will see you guys on the next video, and hopefully we have some more parts.